Alright, take 3. Tytronic electronic ignition installation, XS650. You only need 4 tools: a Phillips head, a flathead, 17, and a 10. I already removed both side covers on this side. Turn the motor around to to fire, not top dead center, but fire. A little line on the rotor. As you're turning counterclockwise, the first line you see on the case is your full advance mark. Then there's 2 lines with an F in the middle, that's your fire mark, and then counterclockwise past that is your top dead center mark. Take out the 2 flathead screws that hold on the points plate. Wiring grommet out the cam cover case side. Pull off your points plate. And so you got 2 wires. You guys see all this? You got 2 wires coming out of the points plate. An orange one and a gray one. Go to 2 bullet connectors. Go ahead and unplug those. Points plate aside. Take your 10mm wrench. Remove the 10mm nut and its lock washer and your points cam. You'll know you're on the right cylinder, the left-hand cylinder, fire or compression stroke, because the little pin in the back of your advance rod will be facing up. This is where I fumbled for quite a while, because all of the other videos for the Hondas tell the guys to put these paint marks towards the engine, but you don't. This cam, well, not a cam, but this part goes on with the paint marks facing out. It's got a keyway in it. Goes over top of that pin in your advance rod. 10mm nut and lock washer back on. It's very important to torque this part to factory specifications. Click! Perfect. That rotated the engine a little bit. I'm going to put it back on the fire square. I call it the square. It's got the F inside 2 lines. Now's a good time to check. Make sure your springs on your mechanical advance snap back real freely, which these do. Take your Tytronics plate. So the 4 bolts that hold down these triggers, they're not tight when you get it. You want to snug them up just a little bit, and then they all protrude out the back a slight bit. So I hit them all with a buzz wheel. You could do it with a file, pretty much anything. And then I just put a piece of sandpaper on a piece of glass and gave this a little rubby rub. Give it a nice flat surface back there. It's not necessary. The first time I installed it with those bolts there. Since there's 4 of them, it's a decent footprint to keep it sitting flat and level. But it makes it a little bit of a pain when you try to slide the plate to do your timing adjustment. So go ahead and reinstall your 2 flathead screws with their washers. And noticed one guy on the forum mentioned he didn't like that this only had half slots where the bolts hold it down, but maybe he hasn't examined the points plate, because that's the exact same way the points plates are. Now there's this little grommet right there on your points wiring. If you only have one set, you can steal it off of there. I had an extra set, so I took the grommet, cut a sliced a cut in it right along the flat side, and spread it and put it over the Tytronics wiring. You push that little grommet into the cam cover, and you can run your wiring exactly like the factory wiring was run. In between the fin on the top of the head, below the fin on the rocker box, around the back side of the left side intake valve cover, and up towards the coils. Let's talk about wiring it up. So those two plugs that we unplugged the coils from, or the points plate wiring from, you got two other plugs going into those. Those are your condensers. Oh, bike's trying to fall over. Stay. You unplug the condensers out of those 2-into-1 bullet connectors. Tuck your condenser wire away. Remove them if you want. Leave them if you want. And then these 2-into-1 both go over to your coils. You ditch those. Take your wiring from your Tytronics. You're going to have 3 wires: an orange wire, a gray wire, and 2 red wires into 1 bullet connector. The orange wire simply goes to the orange wire on this side of the bike coil. Bullet connectors are a nice tight fit. Take the gray wire. It goes to the orange wire for the coil on the right side of the bike. Then you only got 1 wire left. That's this 2 red wires. Oh, what horrible filming. I'm going to go over that again. I'll unplug it. Bam. Bam. Got 3 wires coming out of the Tytronics. An orange, a gray, and a red. The orange wire goes to the orange wire on the coil on the left side of the bike. The gray wire goes to the orange wire on the right side of the bike. That's it. Bam. Bob's your auntie. You got 2 red wires coming into 1 bullet connector. Tytronics asks you not to use the 12 volts switched ignition that goes to the coils. Possibly some kind of interference with the coil and the pickups. So I ran a 12 volt switched ignition. That means this is off until you turn the ignition key on, and then it's 12 volts. I ran a dedicated wire just from my ignition for this. The XS650 wiring harness may already have something for that, but this bobber chopper homologation doesn't even have a XS wiring harness. So that's it. That's all the wiring there is to do. And they give you the perfect length, like I said. Take the wiring, wrap it around the back side of the valve cover, up to the front of the engine. I'll probably give it a zip tie or 2 later. Alright, let's time it. This system with the LEDs is absolutely amazing. I love it. I don't know if you'll see the lights light up with all the other light I got going on here. So I'm going to turn my key on. You might be able to see that light is on, but that's not the first one you want to do. So I'm going to turn the engine in a counterclockwise rotation. coming up. There's my full advance mark. Now I'm going to watch the light, not the rotor down there. But the light just came on. I stopped turning it. I'm just about 5 degrees advanced. I'm going to turn my key off. There's some mention here and there on the interwebs about having power to the Tytronics unit and losing ground to this plate, damaging these triggers, sensors. So that's why I turned the key off. And let's see, I'm just slightly advanced. Put yourself a little paint mark on the backing plate if you want, so you can keep track of your movements. It'd be kind of nice to even give yourself a scribed mark with a 2, 4, 6 degrees advanced. Okay, turning the ignition back on after I made a slight change. Now we can check the other cylinder. Going counterclockwise. Coming up on my full advance mark. There's my full advance mark. Light just came on. I went a little too fast there. Too fast for my own good. Okay, let's check the this one again. So the light will go out. You'll be coming around. Coming up on my full advance mark. Now I'm going to stop watching the rotor and I'm going to watch this sensor. As soon as that light turns on, I'm going to stop moving. Still slightly advanced. Turn the key off. Key on. Now is a chance to check the other cylinder. So we're coming around. The light will go out. Coming around. There's my full advance mark on the rotor below. Now I'm going to watch the sensor, not the rotor. Light just came on. Slightly advanced. I'm going to leave it alone and check the other one again. You want to set this one first. Okay, coming around, there's my full advance mark. I'm watching this sensor, turning the rotor, light came on, still slightly advanced. Turn the ignition back on. Okay, and now there's a chance to check this one again. Lights out. Coming around. There's my full advance mark. I'm going to watch this sensor. Turning the rotor, stopping right when the light came on. That's not bad. It's on the advanced side of the firebox, the 2 lines with the F in it. Check the left-hand cylinder again. Coming around. There's my full advance mark. I'm watching the light and turning the rotor. Lights on. That's the same as the other one. So I'm going to call that good. Give those extra snuggy snugs so they don't go nowhere. Back you guys up a little bit. I can't back up much further than that. As far back as I can go. The woman's not home and we're in the laundry room, so we're gonna take advantage of that. this on, fill up the float bowls. Now I'm going to check the timing on this with the timing light too, just out of curiosity. I got this battery, I don't know if you can see that, it's just like a gel cell battery out of a backup system for your internet. You're not supposed to use the battery of the bike when you use a timing light. Okay. Fire in the hole. Choke on. Wow. I don't know if you can see that. Firing right on the fire mark. Check the other cylinder. That one's just a blonde one advanced. Right on the full advance mark. But you wouldn't be able to blame anything that was wrong there on the tytronics. That's all controlled by your mechanical advance, the amount of throw your weights can have. So my right-hand cylinder was dead on the fire. The left-hand cylinder was a blonde one advanced. So you would loosen these two little Allen screws on the trigger and move this one separately. And the fine tuning is just like fine tuning your points, but once this is set, it's set. So I'm going to take this opportunity to show off this bike a little bit. This is the Holy Roller. Got a Sportster King tank on it. And I feel so close to the bike. It's called the Holy Roller because it has holes, not because of the crosses. There is a cross on the back fender. There's a cross on the rear. License plate light. Wow, the lighting in here sucks. Well, I'll show the bike to you some other time. There's some of my handy leather work. Hand tooled leather. On a steel seat, I pound it out by hand. It's glued on there. There's some more of my leather work. You guys might recognize the chained war pig. It's the Motorhead war pig. And yes, this is a tool I made to rephase cranks. These plates press it back together after you've made your change. Okay guys, happy motoring. Bye.